Do you ever wonder how men determine which women they'll take advantage of and which women they'll wife? The answer is actually very simple. We test you. But here's the thing. If you knew exactly what we were testing and how we were testing it, wouldn't that make it easy for you to present yourself as the wife you know you want to be approached as? That's exactly why on today's show, we're going to discuss how men test you before they respect you so that you never make the mistake of being seen as a woman he can use and discard of ever again. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so I know you're here, present, and actively participating. Version 2. Okay, we'll be fine now. Okay, I whatever it was is working now. Everything's good. We're all good. There shouldn't be any more internet glitches. Now it seems like we're back on board. Okay, so welcome, Missy America. Welcome all you beautiful people. Ivy, SH. Thank you all of you for joining me and being patient with me. I appreciate all of you, every single one of your fiber of your beings. Let's get started. Okay, so number one, I discussed smashing. Now, the reason I brought up smashing specifically was because I want you to understand as men, we become accustomed to you the women, we become accustomed to you, the women, talking a big game. Oh, I'm not like all the other girls. Oh, this is not going to be easy. Oh, I'm not going to sleep with you on the first night. Oh, don't expect that we're just going to jump right into things, jump right into pineapples. You're not getting access to my squirrel that easy until you show me commitment. Everyone talks a big game. And in the end, after everyone talks a big game, we as the men realize that once we apply a little bit of pressure to you, okay, once we press you just a little tiny bit, you fold like a cheap lawn chair. And in the end, everything that you said you would do, everything that you said you were about, everything that you said you stand for goes out the window as soon as we do a little bit of applied pressure and a little bit of put in a little bit of work there. And the thing about it is, when we're testing you in this way, all men are going to test you in terms of seeing what they need to do, what buttons they need to press in order to be able to smash you, in order to be able to get access to your squirtle. They're going to do this in a variety of different ways. It's going to be based off of whatever your trigger points are. So what I mean by that, for example, is if I'm a guy and I go out on a date with you, and I'm just going to be honest with you about how guys go about this stuff. If I'm a guy and I go out on a date with you, and in the process of me meeting you and getting to know you, I gain an understanding that the best reaction and response I get from you is when I love bomb you. So if I tell you, oh, you're just so beautiful. You're just so stunning and amazing. You're dump truck. You're so voluptuous. I just can't believe how much I want to make you my wife. I just can't believe how much I want to make you the mother of my children. I just can't believe how much of a connection we're sharing on this very first date. It feels like I've known you forever. It feels like we've been together forever. It feels like we knew each other in a past life. You guys are going to start throwing out that type of stuff when he can sense that if he makes you feel like this connection is so deep and so vast and so wide, and you guys are so close with each other, that you'll be persuaded and convinced that you don't need to do all the vetting process. You don't need to be patient. You don't need to wait for absolutely anything. You'll just jump right into it because this is already so deep. Oh, you guys are already connecting on such an intimate level. This is already going places that no other relationship in your entire life has ever went. And as guys, right, in the process of learning and understanding you, we kind of learn which button to press and which one will get you outside of yourself. Which one will get you to not act on those morals and values that you said you had. Right? Because as you're saying that, we're literally thinking, okay, yeah, you're talking about how you're different. You're talking about how we're not going to do anything. Cool. Let me figure out what button I have to push. And then they press and in all these different areas until they find a soft spot. And then they keep pressing that area. And so the guys that are trying to sleep with you very early on, I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. They might not write it down in a book, but this is something they learn after a while. This is a technique they learn after a while. If I push whatever button enough throughout the date, or even if it's the second date or very early on, I will get my desired result by continuing to press on that button. I'm just going to be so honest with you. And the thing about it is, it's a catch-22, because even if I date you with the intention of finding a wife, but I'm able to get access to you, to get access to your Squirtle, to have pineapples with you on the first date, second date, very early on, what's going to happen is my inclination, or what I think of you in terms of how you represent a wife, is going to be diminished. Even though I came in with the mindset that I wanted to see if you could be a wife. That's the thing. Guys are actively testing you to see if you're not what they wanted you to be or thought you were. All the time. And to be honest with you, even they test you even to their own detriment, because sometimes they test you only to realize that you might not represent what they wanted you to represent or thought you represented. And their disappointment, while they're disappointed, they still say, yeah, not the girl I'm actually going to take serious. Unfortunately. And I know that's painful, but I just want you to understand that I know, see, the reason I'm talking to all of you beautiful souls about this is because I know that the way men present it to you early on, they're always going to present it to you as if it's not a big deal. It's not going to change anything. In fact, if we sleep together right now, it's a representation of how close we are. It's a representation of how fast we're building on things. And it kind of lines up with the Disney princess movie that you've been replaying in your mind your entire life and your entire childhood, where things all happen in 5 minutes. Unfortunately, you don't live in a Disney princess movie. And in real life, things don't happen in 5 minutes. People don't fall in love instantly. People don't run away to a land far, far away on a white horse. Unfortunately, in the real world, people grow over time and progress over time their feelings for each other. And the intensity, or the love bombing, or just in general, the manipulation, is a tactic to see what type of applied pressure can I put on you to get you to make a decision that you didn't really even intend to make in the first place. But now you're making it consensually. And literally, my ability to sway you and change your mind will communicate to me that, oh, you're not someone who stands on the things you believe in. You're actually someone that I can control. And we'll talk about control in a bit. Because as a man, I'm just going to tell you, as a man, when I come to the realization that you're easily controlled by me, I don't respect you. Okay? I don't respect you at all. And I damn sure don't respect you enough to make you my wife. But I do recognize that the amount of control I have over you will make my life a lot easier, because I can utilize you for exactly what I want to utilize you for and discard of you when I don't feel like utilizing you any longer. So my life is made very easy if I realize that I can control you and manipulate you. But so I might still spend my time with you. I might still hang around you. I might even continue on getting inside that Squirtle of yours, that juicy Squirtle of yours. But I definitely won't be trying to build a relationship with you. And I know some people are like, but I know a girl of a friend that her and her man smashed on the first night, and they're still together. They're still married. They're still in a relationship. So Tomisin, everything that you say is a lie because I seen it of a friend of a friend of a friend of a cousin of a friend of a friend. Okay. I understand that there are some exceptions to the rule, because I seen this earlier. There are some exceptions to the rule in which some girls do sleep with a guy on the very first date, and they still end up being in a wonderful relationship. But I would be doing you a disservice if I gave you the fact that it's an exception to the rule, that, hey, you should go out and do this and expect that all the guys in your life will respect you and want to make you their wife. That's doing you a disservice. Yes, theoretically, not even theoretically, it does happen. But does it happen on a large enough scale that I would tell you and advise you to go out and sleep with guys on the first night and expect them to actually respect you? No. Majority of men will not. And majority of men are just testing you to see if you'll easily fold. And when you easily fold, they're going to lose respect for you. And when they lose respect for you, the only reason they'll be spending time around you or with you will be to continue seeing how much they can get away with as it relates to you. I'm just going to be honest with you. This is why, okay, I'm definitely going to rant today, so just be prepared for that. I'm already going to start to rant from now. This is why I always tell you guys, if you know, see, I'm not here to tell you how you should live your life. Okay. I'm here to recommend to you different approaches that you can take in your life that may yield you a different result. But if you want to keep doing what you're doing, that's perfectly fine with me. However, I want to tell you guys and explain to you that I know that you think that in terms of applying pressure and what the men want from you, I know that you think, hey, if I say it, it makes me sound better. Hey, if I talk about how much I'm just so much different than the other girls, he's going to understand it and he's going to hear it from me. And that's going to make it obvious that I'm so much different. You make yourself look like a complete fool and a complete idiot when you spend any amount of time telling him how different you are and telling him how this thing is not going to happen and you're not going to sleep with him so early on and you're not going to do this and that, only to end up doing it. You look very, very foolish when you do that. My recommendation to you is, if you know you're in the business, you get H'd up, your squirtle starts squirtling when you get turned on, you know, when you go out on these dates with these good looking men, maybe you like black men with beards, maybe you like black men that are shaved, maybe you like black men that are ugly, maybe you like white men, yellow men, orange men, whatever you like. And you know, you just get so riled up that you can't control yourself. You're better off not even saying anything in the first place about how you're not going to sleep with him on the first night. Just don't even say anything. If you know that when that Inniskillin gets in you, when that Pinot Grigio gets in you, and you start feeling good, you start feeling yourself, everything starts working and flowing and starts lubricating, and then you can't help yourself, might as well not even say anything. Better off not even saying anything. Because at the very least, it will seem more like it was actually your decision from the very first place, as opposed to just being a decision that you were persuaded on because you have such a weak mind that even when you say this is what you're going to do or say this is what you want, when someone comes around and applies pressure to you, all of a sudden those morals and values go out the window. Okay. It makes you look a lot weaker when you talk about it and don't be about it than just not saying anything at all. So if you know that's you, that you can't stand by that and you can't stand by being able to stand on that, and not give that away very soon or very early. If you guys are vibing and you're feeling really good, then just keep your mouth shut. At the very least, maybe then he'll be able to determine it as, I didn't persuade you or trick you or apply pressure and make you change your mind. That was already what you wanted. Okay, at the very least. That's my side advice to all of you. Okay, so smashing was number one. Number two, let's talk about inconvenience. Now, in the process of me growing a relationship with you, I'm going to check to see how much you're willing to inconvenience yourself for me. This is very twisted, but it's very true. Okay. Why am I looking to see how much you'll inconvenience yourself for me? Because I want to see how much I can get away with you and how much you like me. It's a gauge. I'm gauging how much you like me, that you will put aside what your needs are, what your wants are, what your desires are, what's important to you, to be there for me. And the more you inconvenience yourself for me, the more my power grows. And the more I'm able to recognize my power. Because as I continue to see you increasingly inconvenience yourself, I realize I have increasing amounts of control over you. And what do I do with that increasing amounts of control? I abuse it and I use it and I take advantage of you and I take advantage of you. So an example of someone inconveniencing you and growing in the inconvenience to just see where they can get with you would be an example of, let's say he wants money from you and he knows that you can't say no to him when he asks for money. So one day he says, yo, can I just borrow $50 from you? I just gotta pay for this one thing to get this down. And I want to go to the store and grab this thing from the store, but I need like $50 and I get paid next week. So you give him the $50. And then another time he comes to you, yo, I'm trying to cop these new Jordans, and these new Jordans come out literally tomorrow, and I got to go wait in the line in order to get them on the first day. But if I don't get them on the first day, they won't be available. Yo, you think you could just slide me like 250? Like I'm just about to go get those Jordans, y'all. You know, I really wanted those Jordans, some light, you know what I mean? But I don't get paid, and I got to go in the line. I got to wait tomorrow. And so you slide him 250. And then one day he's talking about, yo, I would, if you could just, I'm trying to get that PS5, that PS5 looking crazy, but you don't got no links on that PS, you couldn't get me that PS, right? Or he starts asking you, you think I could borrow your car? I know you got work. Maybe I could borrow your car while you at work, and I could just take you to work, and I could take your car and I could go drive it somewhere. And slowly but surely, the inconveniences will begin escalating, and he's slowly but surely testing, how far are you willing to inconvenience yourself for me? How much are you willing to do for me in order to make me happy? Okay? Right? And as he's doing that, let me pull this up here. Let me make sure my thing up here. I wanted to make sure you guys weren't getting the TikTok chat here. And as time is going on, he will begin to inconvenience you more and more and more and more, until you don't realize that you're literally bending over backwards for this guy. Right? And what is going on? Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure you guys can see the TikTok comments. You guys can see them before, right? And as I continue to inconvenience you, I realize more of my power, right? Kitty says only a pick Misha, right? See, the thing is, it's very easy to recognize that when we're all sitting together and we're having a good chat and all that good stuff. It's a lot harder to recognize that when you're in it and you like the guy and you feel like the more I do for you, the more it will show you how interested I am in you and how much I want you and want to be in this relationship. I always tell you all, do nothing for men and they'll actually like you more. Do nothing for men and they'll be more fascinated by you. Do nothing for men and they'll be more interested in you. The moment you start thinking, how am I going to do more for him? How am I going to inconvenience myself more to be with him and show him that I'm the wife for him and I'm the one that he wants to be with? They will only recognize that as you inconveniencing yourself for him, and they'll recognize that as the power that they have over you. And once men recognize the power that they have over you, they're just thinking about how they can abuse that. They're not thinking about how they can appreciate that, to be honest, to be too honest with you. Okay. That's especially why you don't want to come out making men feel like you're going to get on your hands and knees and start scrubbing the floor to prove yourself to him. Don't ever bring the mindset that you need to be proving yourself to these men by scrubbing the floor on your hands and knees squeaky clean. You can do that for your boyfriend. You can do that for your husband once it's actually real. But in these pen pal situations and these talking stages and these situationships that you're in, don't be trying to stimulate that man to like you more by how well you can scrub the floor. Makes no damn sense, and he's not going to appreciate you anymore. The men who actually appreciate you when you take a step back will chase and pursue after you. The men who won't, but also it won't stimulate them by you scrubbing the floor anymore squeaky clean. Okay? I know when we're talking about it, it seems simple in theory, but when you like a guy, that's your natural inclination. You want to start scrubbing the floor squeaky clean and you say, look how clean this floor is. Don't you love me now? And they go cool and they go start talking to a different girl. And I don't want that for you. So number one, we talked about smashing. Number two, we talked about inconvenience. Number three, let's talk about the disappearance. Okay, so in the process of me getting to know you, I'm going to disappear on you. Okay, if I'm just trying to gauge and test you to see what I can get with you and what our dynamic is, right? If I'm trying to see how much power I really have, I'm going to disappear on you periodically, and see if I'm able to return back with no consequences and resume our relationship as if nothing happened. So, for example, a disappearing act would be something like, let's say I ask you out on a date, right? And I say, yo, me and you, let's go to the aquarium at 2 p.m. on Tuesday. Yo, I'm so excited. I'm trying to go to that aquarium. Yo, let's go. Let's do this. And you're so excited, right? Because finally a boy likes you, and finally a guy's interested in you, and finally a guy's asking you on a date. So you're shivering. You're like, oh my God, you want to go to the aquarium? You want to see dolphins with me? I'm so excited. I love dolphins. I've always wanted to pet dolphins, and I've always wanted to own a pet dolphin, and to go with you would just be so amazing. I'm so excited for Tuesday. What time are we going to go at 2 p.m.? I'm so excited. I'll be there at 1:30 p.m. And then when Tuesday comes, he doesn't say anything to you. Like, he doesn't call you. He doesn't text you. He doesn't even mention the date. He's like non-existent on Tuesday. And you're sitting there, you're literally like this. You're staring at your phone. You're like, I think maybe I don't have enough signal. Let me go outside and see if I have enough signal, because I think he must have sent at least 3 or 4 messages, and maybe in the process of him sending his messages, my signal has dimmed to the point where I can't receive messages anymore. Let me go outside and hold my phone to the sun. Maybe I'll get the messages, because I'm pretty sure he said he wanted to go see dolphins on Tuesday, and on Tuesday it's today. That's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, and we're supposed to go see dolphins. Hey, why isn't he answering his phone? Maybe it's on do not, maybe he doesn't have signal either. And then you leave a voice message. Hey, I was just, I thought we were going to go see dolphins today. I really was thinking about seeing dolphins today, and I was excited. I'm just wondering why you haven't called me or texted me all day, because I thought today was Tuesday and we were going to see dolphins today. You look like an idiot. Okay. You look like an idiot. And because when he doesn't message you that day, and, for the next few days or whatever, he doesn't say anything to you, and then he just comes right back like nothing ever happened, and you allow him to come right back like nothing ever happened, and just he comes back, let's say that was Tuesday, he doesn't message you all of Tuesday, he comes back on Wednesday, and he's like, oh, my bad, I was busy yesterday with family, I just had some family stuff to do, my bad, maybe we'll go out next week. And you're sitting there like, oh, I guess maybe, yeah, I guess next week we'll go see some dolphins, I guess, that'll be fine. And you just let him right back in with no consequences for what he just did. After that disappearing act he did, he's a magician now. And see, this is part of the things guys will test, because they want to see, are they going to be able to step in and out of your life as they feel like, right? And you welcome them back with open arms because you're desperate, because you have nothing better, right? Because you have no standards. Because when they realize they can step in and out of your life, what do you think they're going to continue doing? Continue stepping in and out of your life as they feel like it. Very simple. Because when you show me that there's no consequences for me playing my disappearing act on you, then you make it clear to me that I don't have to worry about being consistent with you. I don't have to worry about being committed to you. I only have to worry about doing what I want to do with you whenever I want to do it, at the time I want to do it, for however long I want to do it. And then as soon as I don't have time for you, as soon as I don't want to spend time with you, as soon as I don't want to see you, I discard of you, and you don't play any role or have any space in my mind whatsoever, because I'm focused on me and what I want and what I'm doing. I'm not focused on your needs. I don't care what you want. I don't care what you're doing. You only serve the purpose of serving me when I'm ready to be served. Okay? I know that's painful, but that's the reality. Aaron says, how do we assert a boundary? I did a live stream like maybe 4 days ago about how to set boundaries with men so that they'll respect you. So you got to watch that one, because in that one I go in deep in that. So the disappearing act is another thing that we're going to do to test you, to see where do we stand with you, right? Because if I disappear on you and I am able to come back, there's a good chance you have no self-worth, you have no self-value, and there's 100% chance I can use you and take advantage of you, and there's no need to respect you, so I don't respect you because you don't even respect yourself. A lot of these things that we're going to discuss today are just ways that they get the sense that you don't respect yourself, and so in turn they don't respect you. Very simple, very simple. I'm going to get an idea of how you feel about yourself. If you allow me to treat you like garbage, then I know you only think of yourself as garbage. I continue to treat you like garbage. Everyone is happy, at least in my book as the guy. At least I'm happy. You might not be happy, but I'm happy because I get to treat you like garbage. I get to disappear. I get to do whatever I want, and you stay and still give me girlfriend treatment, so I'm happy. So we talked about smashing. We talked about inconvenience. We talked about disappearance. Number 4 is withdrawing. Okay, so what's going to happen is as guys get to understand you and sense the fact that you're an anxiously attached person, or you're just in general super attached to me and our relationship, and you don't want me to leave. You're like a hoarder. You really hate feeling abandoned by guys you're in a relationship with. Even if the guy can't spell it out, he can feel that out. And he can sense your anxiety that anything you do, or anytime they're not talking to you, anytime they're not texting you or calling you, you get anxious that, oh my God, you're not texting or calling me, you must not like me anymore. Or, oh my God, you're not texting or calling me, you have another girlfriend. Oh my God, you're not texting or calling me, our relationship is falling apart. And so they actually, what you think you're doing well by communicating, by telling him how distraught you are that he's not texting you or he's not paying attention to you, what you're really communicating to him is that when he withdraws from you, and this is a test that you're going to see from guys, when they withdraw from you, which is kind of like disappearing, but just even emotionally, when they withdraw from you, they know that that's a way to manipulate you if they sense that the response they get when they withdraw from you is that you begin chasing. And see, the thing about it is, this is a strategy in multiple ways, because not only do I get the sense of how much power I have over you and power in this relationship that I can use you, but I also get an understanding, I also make my life a lot easier, because now if I withdraw from you and you have the response where you're anxiously attached and so you push forward towards me, what's going to happen in our relationship? You're going to begin chasing after me. And if you're chasing after me, what are you now? You're the man. Remember, we talked about this in a past live stream, how men will bait you into chasing them instead, and how they'll literally flip the script on you, where you become invested in this relationship and things working out, and you want it so badly to work out with him, and you become accustomed to the amount he was love bombing you and the amount of interest he showed in you at the beginning of the relationship, that immediately when he pulls that back from you, you're like, oh my God, you're withdrawing some of that interest, some of that attention from me, and that's all I had. That's what I wanted so badly. And now that you've withdrawn that, I am going to chase after you in order to try to get that back. I'm going to start trying to do things in order to try to stimulate you having that same level of interest in me, you having that same level of intrigue in me. And as I continue to chase after that, trying to get back on that high, it's like a drug, trying to get back on that high of that interest that you made me feel, of that pursuit that you had for me at the beginning. What ends up happening? Now I'm chasing after you. Now you're the man. Just that fast. And the thing about it is, once you establish that dynamic in which he can withdraw from you emotionally and you're going to do all the chasing, well, you're cooked. You're cooked. You're cooked. Because now his life has just been made so much easier. He can get access to you without putting any work. In fact, he can sit back, relax, and have you do cartwheels and back flips and front flips to try to prove to him that you're the girl for him. And what he realizes is, I just get to sit back, relax, continue to get girlfriend treatment from you because you're trying to prove something that you're never even going to see a result of, but you're continuously trying to prove something to me. And in the process of you trying to prove something to me, I can continue to squeeze the life out of you until you're literally like dried up. And once you're dried up, then, or once I find a new girl that I want to pay my attention to and spend my time with, I will kick you to the curb or stomp you out like a dim cigarette. He's very true. He's very true. Okay? And I don't want that for you. So withdrawing is another one of those things that men will use on you. Okay. And actually, I want to start giving you guys a little bit of advice here. So when a guy withdraws from you, I need you to understand, right? This is why it's so important to have your own things going. This is why it's so important to have your own passions and your own hobbies and your own things that you care about outside of boys, outside of boys, outside of boys, outside of boys. I didn't say create hobbies and passions that have to do with boys or have to do with you seeing more boys. Your hobbies and passions are only true hobbies and passions if they don't consist of seeing more boys or seeing a boy. We had someone yesterday in the Discord. By the way, if you guys don't know, the Discord is where you ask your relationship advice questions. It's in my TikTok bio if you're on TikTok, and it's in my YouTube description, and it's pinned at the top if you want to ask your question. But in the Discord yesterday, we had someone talking about, hey, I signed up for flag football, girls flag football, because I like flag football, but also he's one of the coaches. Let's get for real. This is not why you should be doing things. It's not a hobby or a passion if you're doing it to see more boys, okay? This is not what we're doing. You're creating your hobbies and passions, and you're discovering your hobbies and passions because that's what you enjoy, truthfully. Okay? So and the reason I say that is because when guys are withdrawing from you, you need to have something in your life that keeps you level, that a guy withdrawing from you doesn't make it the end of the world. And doesn't make you go on a roller coaster of emotions where you feel like you can't survive or live or exist anymore because this guy has stopped showing you attention. Your life cannot be, your emotional state cannot be that fragile, where simply a man taking away his attention from you will set you in a deep depression. That is insanity, and you're giving people, even partners in your life or potential partners in your life, way too much power. When just them taking away their attention from you will set you on a dark spiral. Because people will have so much control over you that way that they'll easily be able to manipulate you into doing whatever it is they want. And you don't want that. You don't want to put yourself in a position like that. Okay? So we talked about smashing, inconvenience, the disappearance, withdrawing. Now let's talk about you being a pushover. Number 5. Like I tell you, I know that you think you're being more peaceful and being more understanding and being less confrontational when you forgive people and you give them a second and a third and a fifth and an 85th and a second and a 44th and a 131st chance. And I know that you think that you're being more peaceful and more likable and easy to get along with when people wrong you, but you just don't mention it. You just don't address it. You don't confront them because what's the need to confront them? We're all cool. You don't want to cause problems. In reality, you look like an idiot. And what men are going to do is they're going in the process, even if they don't purposely mess up, when they do mess up, they're going to gauge your reaction to them messing up. And this is part of the test that men do because they want to see, how are you going to react when I mistreat you? How are you going to react when I disrespect you? How are you going to react when I don't act how I'm supposed to be acting? Because men might be emotionally stunted. They're not stupid though. Meaning when they mistreat you, they're not so dumb that they can't actually realize that they mistreated you. So in the process of them mistreating you, even in a small way or in a large way, they're going to be gauging and testing to see, how do you respond when you get mistreated? How do you respond when you've been disrespected? How do you respond when I'm not being the type of partner that I know I should be in this relationship? If your response is to let things go, if your response is to allow things to pass, if your response is to be non-confrontational, what that's going to communicate to me is that you're a pushover. What that's going to communicate to me is that I don't actually need to be worried about if I do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing, because you're going to forgive me anyways. You're going to let it go anyways. Queen asked, is the testing conscious? I want to say yes and no. Because in certain senses, things like disappearing, withdrawing, right? Those are definitely conscious things. Smashing, those are conscious things. But but there are some parts that are unconscious in the sense that these are just things that you go through in a relationship that guys are going to be gauging you and gauging how the relationship is going, or gauging how you react and respond to things throughout the process of getting to know you and learn you better. That's part of the process of learning and understanding you better, is seeing how you react and respond in these plethora of different situations. Right? So being a pushover, while it might seem like it's the most peaceful way to go about your relationships, and while it might seem like that's how you'll be the most easygoing, and that's how you'll be the most friendly and the most likable, in reality, when guys realize you're a pushover, right? Or when guys wrong you or disrespect you or mistreat you, yes, sometimes it's an accident. Yes, sometimes it's even unintentional. But the reality of it is, it's still a test to understand how you will respond, if you will address things, if you will stand up for yourself, if you will make people who wrong you, specifically him, face consequences for the way he's mistreated you. Because if you don't, very good for him. Because now he can move on in the relationship knowing how much power he has, knowing how much control he has, and knowing how he won't face any consequences for his actions. And he cannot respect you if he doesn't face consequences for his actions. How possibly could he? He has to respect your authority, your viewpoint, your opinions, right? Who you are, your feelings, what you want, what you desire. If he doesn't respect that or think that it even matters, why would you matter to him? Why does anything matter? There has to be consequences or standards or expectations that must be lived up to in order for him to actually try to purposely be on a straight line, in order for him to try purposely to do the right thing. That's not just going to happen for the sake of it happening. It's going to happen because he has a fear of those consequences. And if there are none, if you don't address things, what's the point of trying to act right? There is none. Okay? Right? Does that make sense to you guys so far? Victoria says, what are some examples of standards? I mean, a standard could be something as simple as, I don't like when my man is angry at me and he curses me out and calls me outside of my name. That can be an example of a standard that you have, right? Where you don't accept anything less than that. And if you're going to do that, then we ain't going to work out in no relationship. If you can't control your anger to the point where when you get angry, you start calling me all type of B words and C words and H words and calling me stuff you wouldn't be calling me if we were fine, hey, then this isn't the relationship for me. That's an example of a standard. Okay? Something that you're just not willing to deal with. But then they have to face consequences for those things that you consider standards. Okay, I apologize for those of you that it's glitching. There's not much I can do at this point. I just have to write it out. So I hope that it resolves itself. Okay, I apologize. So first we talked about smashing, then we talked about the inconvenience, then we talked about disappearance, we talked about withdrawing, being a pushover, right? So number 6 is very interesting. Was that number 6? Yeah, number 6. Number 6 is very interesting. One of these really interesting tests is last minute. What I mean by last minute, guys want to see if you will accept last minute plans and hangouts. Why? Because if you will accept a whole bunch of last minute, unplanned, unscheduled hangouts, what that tells me is I can exist in a relationship, in a situationship, in a whatever ship with you in a very low quality form that doesn't require a lot of effort or planning on my part. So the more last minute I can get access to you, the better it is for me, because the less I actually have to work in this relationship or be the man or take care of things or look forward to none of that. I can let things sorry, I can go by in this relationship based on exactly how I feel in the moment. And if I don't feel like hanging out with you, I won't say anything to you. And the moment I feel like hanging out with you or spending some time with you, I will then and only then speak to you. I will then and only then contact you. Other than that, I'll disappear and I won't be available to you. Okay? I don't know what's going on with this internet. Right? Other than that, I will not be available to you whatsoever. And the last minute thing can be very unfortunate because I know for a lot of you, you're thinking to yourself, well, if he's able to hang out with me last minute, that just shows how much we like each other and how much we want to be with each other. That just shows how much we're interested in each other and how well we're getting along. And so if I choose to hang out with him last minute, it's simply because we have such a deep connection that I want to be available to him last minute and show him that we can hang out and spend quality time with each other. Well, in reality, when you hang out with him last minute all the time, 24/7, it only shows him that he can hang out with you last minute, which means why would he plan and schedule with you? Why would he try to put an effort and be consistent with you? He doesn't need to. All he has to do is call you up or text you whenever he is free at that current moment, and he knows you'll throw away everything in your life and throw everything to the side in order to be in a relationship with him, or sorry, not in order to be in a relationship with him, in order to hang out or spend time with him. Okay? Someone said I'm stuck. Am I stuck still? Am I stuck still on TikTok? I apologize, guys. We're already deep in here. I tried absolutely everything as it went on as to try and get this internet back. But if you guys are, just to keep in mind, you can always rewatch the parts that you missed on YouTube. Okay, I apologize dearly for the internet. I've tried so badly to try to do it again. Okay. So last minute was the point that we were talking about. I know it glitched a lot throughout the thing. Last minute was what I was talking about and referring to in terms of the way guys will try to hit you up. I'll give you an example of last minute. Last minute would be like, let's say, he's going to the club and, he goes out to the club, and after the club, he always contacts you like steady. Like he's like, yo, 2 a.m. comes, he's at the club. Whether or not you go out, he'll call you or he'll text you, be like, yo, what are you up to? Or what are you doing? Or what are you saying right now? I'm trying to come pull up on you. Or you want to come pull up on me? And he hits you up, after he goes out or when he's finished doing what he was doing. And then he comes hit you up to hang out day of, or to hang out right now, or to hang out in the next couple of hours when he just got free, because he was too lazy to ever plan anything or schedule anything with you. But the realization that he comes upon when you are available last minute is that you really don't have anything that is important enough in your life that you would actually not be able to just drop it and be with me. I won't have respect for you that way, because you don't even respect your own life and priorities enough to say to yourself, yeah, I'm not answering your calls at 2 a.m. I got to do stuff. Yeah, I don't care how much you want to spend time with me right now this second. I'm not available right now this second. And I wouldn't even try to make myself available to you right this second, because I have much better things to do with my time. And if you really, really, truly want to be around me, be with me, spend time with me, you will call me, you call me. You will schedule with me the time and the place in the future in which you want to see me. Kitty said, even if you're available, right? Kitty said, even if you're available. I truthfully, this is a side tip. Truthfully, even if you're available, I would advise you to not say yes to last minute hangouts. Okay. That's my advice to you, because I always have to be truthful with you all. I don't think that what you think it's representing by saying yes to a last minute hangout, it's actually representing. Like some of you would say, it's not giving what you think it's giving. Okay? It's giving pick Misha when you do that, even if you're actually genuinely available. My advice to you would always to be, if a guy really wants to see you, put him in a position where he has to plan and schedule to see you, because that takes way more work, effort, and commitment than it does to just text you as soon as he's available and expect you to be free. You don't want guys to become accustomed to being able to just text you as soon as they're free, as soon as they're available, or as soon as they think of you in their mind, and then poof, you're there like Door. Do you want to be DoorDash? Do you want to be DoorDash, yes or no? Because if you're poof available to him whenever he needs you to be available, you're just like DoorDash. You don't open up the DoorDash app unless you want food right now. And you want it quick, fast, and in a hurry, under 40 minutes probably. So don't be acting like DoorDash if you don't want to get treated like DoorDash. He only going to open your contact information on his phone when he's hungry for some food, i.e. some Squirtle. So don't be saying yes to no last minute hangouts unless you want him to start treating you like DoorDash, where the only time he even remembers or thinks of you is when he's hungry. Because I guarantee you, whenever you're not hungry, you're not thinking about that, opening up that DoorDash app. Same thing for the guys. They ain't thinking about contacting you when they're not hungry, when they're not H'd up. You should know what I mean by H'd up. And they become accustomed to that. Right? Does that make sense to you guys? Base Beauty said be snail mail. I agree. Be snail mail. Don't be readily available to him easily, conveniently, quick, fast, and in a hurry. No. None of that. Okay? Be international shipping. Okay? Not even Temu shipping. You come slow. Very slow. Takes a month for your package to deliver. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so number 1 was smashing. Number 2, inconvenience, disappearance, withdrawing. We had pushover. We talked about last minute, right? So lastly, the point I want to make is control. Now, when I talk about control, what I'm specifically referring to is the emotional control and manipulation that guys will put you through to see how vulnerable or weak you are. So remember, I talked to you guys before. See, the more a man understands that he can trigger you easily or get you really emotionally riled up and put you on an emotional roller coaster, that signifies to me control. This is actually a test, okay? Because if I see that a slight thing that I do or say can really get you up or down, get you yelling, get you screaming, get you out of character, going crazy, what that tells me is that I can control you through your emotions. I tell you guys the same thing with men. Okay. This is why I always tell you guys to get men emotionally invested in you, because when they're emotionally invested in you, that's how you control them to do what you want them to do without them even realizing that they're doing what you want them to do. It's the best way to get what you want out of people. Now, vice versa, in this case, when he understands that he can control you emotionally, once again, he realizes how much power he has over you, and he realizes that why do I need to respect you when I am in control of you? There's no reason for me to respect you. You do what I want, when I want you to do it, how I want you to do it. And the thing about it is, when it comes to guys and they feel like they can control you, or they feel like they can emotionally manipulate you so easily and get you out of character so easily, it becomes very easy for them to trigger you when it's convenient for them to trigger you, knowing that your response will stop you from being able to be rational or logical about a situation. And you want to know how it works in a guy's favor? Because if I know that you're easily triggered by things I say and do, well, then think about it. If you're mad at me or upset with me, then I also know how to trigger you in a way where, let's say you're upset that I was cheating on you with this other girl. But I know that I can really easily emotionally manipulate you. I can come to you after cheating on you with another girl and tell you, yo, I've been struggling with me and you, and we don't hang out as much as I'm used to us hanging out, and you know, my mother, she's been going through some things, and I haven't really been myself lately, and you've been working so much, and while you were working, I just felt so lonely that, you know, I just felt a little bit of comfort in one of my friends, and when we were talking, it just one thing led to another, and I wasn't even trying to sleep with her. I was just thinking about you the whole time. And how much I wanted to be around you and everything. I just want you so badly, baby. Can we be together again? I'm so sad. And that's, you'll fall for that. Because he's going to take you to a place where you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, it's my fault. Oh my God, you poor thing. Oh my God, look how much he wants to be with me, and look how much he wants to make this relationship work. Oh my God, this is like a Disney princess movie. Oh my God, I'm going to start tearing up, right? And the thing about it is, when he can take you on that emotional roller coaster like that, he can convince you of anything. And it becomes so much harder for you to be rational and logical about anything that's happening in the relationship when all you're thinking about is how overwhelming your emotions are at that time. This is why I always advise you guys, like this is why we talk about emotions so much on the show, not just the emotions of the guys and how to utilize that to your advantage, but also your own emotions, and not how to not feel things, but how to control your emotions in a way where you can feel them without them being overwhelming and without them pushing you to make decisions that you know you shouldn't be making or that don't benefit you. Because emotions are the easiest ways to start making decisions that actually actively make your life worse. When you're making emotional decisions, those are the decisions that you look back on and you say to yourself, what was I thinking? I don't even know what I was thinking at that time, because I can't put together the logic or the train of thought that would make whatever I did or whatever decision I made at that time even make sense. That only happens when you're in such a heightened emotional state where it's not just feeling the emotions, but the emotions become so overwhelming that you literally have no control over yourself or your actions anymore. And you don't want that. Okay? Right? It's not that you shouldn't feel things. It's not that you shouldn't care about things. But you should, what we practice here is understanding the emotions so that we can control them in a way that doesn't hinder us in our relationships. Right? Someone was like, now we got into the actor's room. Thank you. I appreciate you guys appreciating my acting. Does that make sense to you guys so far? Right? And what we discussed today. Do you guys have any questions about what we just discussed before we hop into the Discord? Because you know Discord gonna be crazy. Okay. By the way, like I said, if you have a question for me in the Discord, please ask it in the TikTok, my bio on TikTok, or ask it in the YouTube the description. Okay. Thinking about you the whole time I ate another girl's Squirtle. Are you saying you were thinking about me the whole time you were eating another girl's Squirtle? Or I'm confused what you mean by that. That's pretty funny if that's what you mean. If someone says, Lucky Me says, is it okay for him to go on a break before he commits to marriage? What do you mean go on a break? Like go on a break to do what? Sleep with other girls? What type of break is that? Get for real. Okay. Someone says if you're not already, you should get paid. You guys think I should get paid? What should be my price? Okay. When you're really the master of emotions, it confuses the hell out of men. It's very true, because men are used to, women are emotional beings. Men are also emotional beings, but men are used to women being so overly emotional that they can't even control themselves, control their thoughts, feelings, or actions. And they're used to being able to control and manipulate women through their emotions. But what I'm telling you is if you gain a better understanding of this and how this is happening, you'll have a little bit more control over this, and then you won't fall victim to this, or the control that men will have over you with this. Okay. Right. Someone says, I love your jumper. Does jumper just mean shirt? I'm assuming jumper means shirt. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Anisha says, so they play on our emotions because they know we are emotional creatures. Got it. Exactly. Right. Jazz says, Tom, please don't judge women. We are emotional beings. I mean, we're all emotional beings. Okay. And there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing wrong with having emotions, but you just don't want the emotions to control you where you start making irrational decisions. Okay. Yourself says, what if he contacts me drunk after telling him to stop talking? Then you don't contact him back. Very simple. Who says that you have to contact him back? Nobody. Right? Nobody says that. Someone says cognitive therapy. I like that. Okay. Someone says, did I miss the Discord? No. Actually, you're right on time. Because Discord time. Let's go. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's do this right now. Let's do this Discord thing right now. Let's get this thing going. Let's get this. All right. $1 million question, Baby Bliss says. All right, let's see what your $1 million question is, Baby Bliss. All right. $1 million question. Hi, Tomisin. Can you explain the factors that we should consider before sleeping with a guy? Okay, this is a great question. I'll answer this right now. So, explaining the factors that you should consider before sleeping with a guy. You should consider, very important, you need to consider the fact that when you meet a guy at the very beginning, you're not meeting the real him, you're meeting like his representative, and you need to gain a very clear understanding of who he really is and how he really acts on a regular, everyday Tuesday afternoon basis, okay? Not how he presents himself on your date when he gets to get spick and span and look real nice for you and tell you all these beautiful stories that make him look like Prince Charming in the flesh, okay? So very important, when you're considering a guy, you should have, before you even take it seriously, before you even take the possibility of the relationship being serious, you need to be very clear on what he's like and how he treats you when he's angry, when he's upset, when he's stressed out, when he's emotional, when he's not at his best. You need to be very clear on what your relationship looks like in those moments. Because if you're not clear on how he treats you when he's upset or angry or stressed out, then you won't actually know what you're getting yourself in for. And until you really know that side of him and how he treats you when he's in that mind state and in that mind frame, then you don't actually know what your relationship is really like. Because the reality of it is your relationship is not just going to be a whole bunch of Saturday nights where you go out together for drinks and dinner and sit at a nice table all done up in front of each other and talk about how much you find each other fascinating and interesting. That's not what your whole relationship's going to be. And so you need to experience guys in the times where they're not at their best and get an understanding of what their negative qualities are or their not so good qualities are so that you can determine if it's something that you're willing to work with or you can work with, or if it's something that's a deal breaker for you. You also need to be asking a lot of negative questions and seeing what lines up with what and seeing, like I said, what you can deal with or not. You also need to have a very, 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 very crystal clear understanding of who their exes are, how long they've dated, what the relationship was, why it ended, and where they stand now. There's a lot of you that are in confusing situations simply because you weren't asking questions from the very beginning. And you just allowed him to spew all of his rhetoric that sounded amazing towards you instead of being inquisitive about what is actually going on. And for some of you, you build a relationship with a man only to realize 6 months down the road that he actually works with his ex and sees her every day. And now he's actually going to go get back with her and leave you for her. And it's like some of you, all you had to do was ask questions and gain a very crystal clear understanding of where things stand, and you would have gotten those answers right at the very beginning. The other thing that you really need to consider is what you want out of the relationship. And I know that sounds simple in itself, but sometimes a lot of you are going into relationships hoping that the guy will show you what a good, healthy relationship that you're looking for is. But then you end up getting strung along because you're not really sure what it is you're looking for. See, the thing is, you got to start the opposite way. You got to go into the dating stages and the talking stages knowing exactly what it is you're looking for. That way you can quickly identify the qualities that you want and that you need. And if someone doesn't have that, it'll be very easy for you to say to yourself, this isn't what I'm trying to build, so I'm out. And you'll waste a lot less of your time. Okay, so number 2, you ask, I know you said to look up on TikTok things to do in the city we live in, but how do we make a move on a random guy in public? Thoughts on speed dating? You know what's so funny? I won't say too much, but I'm actually coming up with a solution for everyone, a piece of technology for everyone that will actually make this process a lot easier. I won't say too much yet though. Okay, this is coming in the future. You just got to stick with me. Something very big is happening to solve this major problem that you guys are having. So just stick around for me. And but to answer your question directly, as it relates to what exists right now in terms of making a move on a guy you see in public, I'm always a fan of eye contact and heavy eye contact to convey to a guy that you're interested in that you're interested in him. Okay, some guys are stunted. There are some super shy guys that may not come up to you, but I can assure you the fairly confident guys with at least a little bit of game will be able to identify that the eye contact means come over to me, okay? And I want to have a chat with you. And if they're confident enough and outgoing enough to like notice that and see that, then they're going to come up to you if they're interested in you as well. I always advise, if you really want a guy, the most that you should be doing in person is direct and hard eye contact. Let him see you and let him see you seeing him. That's as clear as you need. That's as clear as it needs to be. It's pretty. If you're an eye contact pro, tell me in the chat if you're an eye contact pro. If you're an eye contact pro, then you know this is actually a pretty simple process, because the eye contact pros can know how to speak the language of eye contact with other eye contact pros, and it's very easy to communicate with someone who's thinking on that level, on that wavelength that I'm interested in you. Okay, eye contact pros know what I'm talking about. Become an eye contact pro and you'll start attracting eye contact pros. Now, I'll be honest with you. If you're an eye contact pro, it'll be very difficult to attract shy guys. But at the end of the day, I don't think you really want a super shy guy who's to himself and is so ditzy and is a soy boy. Okay, you don't want that. You want a man. You want a man. All right. So if you want a man, become an eye contact pro. And I'm sure you'll attract a guy who can take initiative. I assure you of that. Okay. I see some of you saying that you're eye contact pros. That's good. That's good. An eye contact pro, trust me, you get a lot of guys to approach you just simply with eye contact. You'd be shocked. You'd be shocked. Next, we have Lizzie, who asks, she says, 2 months and we haven't, I guess you meant to say done pineapples. Do I make him beg? Let's see here. Okay. So Lizzie says, I'm a 28-year-old female. He's a 32-year-old male. Met this guy online. On the 3rd date, he mentioned he wants a relationship eventually. We went on great dates and he sleeps over every time. We just don't have pineapples. But we have done other things, not third base though. He's not a texter or a caller. That's fine. But we have had some talks on the phone. It's been 2.5 months and I found a girl's deodorant in his car. Okay. He told me it was his and a friend gave it to him from a store or whatever, but it was in the passenger side. We talked it over. I told him I didn't like it, but he slept over anyways. The next day, I told him it's best to see other people. He called me that night 3 times, and I answered the 3rd time. I wanted to get past this thing, but he got into it all over. What do you mean he got into it all over? He just got into it all over. I told him I'd block him if he keeps calling, so I had to block him. Now he texts me through other numbers. Can I get my power back? Do I make him beg? Side note, I was sick the other day. I asked him for soup and it left. Wait, what? And it left super fast and he had things going on. What? I don't know what that means. Like why? Does he have a girlfriend? Okay. So I'm going to answer the question that I understood. That one I didn't understand there. But in terms of this, listen, I know we all go through some situations here, and Lizzie, I know that you're questioning things. I do always want to caution you guys. I don't like to put things in your mind that I don't necessarily believe to be true or present. So what I mean by that is I do understand it is quite strange for a woman's deodorant to be in the passenger seat. But I do have to also acknowledge that there are strange or weird situations that are so unique and specific that yes, if you're looking at it from a different perspective, it can seem like it's shady. That doesn't necessarily mean something shady is going on. Now, a pattern of shady behavior is very different from a one-off type of thing. And from what I heard from you, I didn't hear anything that sounded like a pattern. It just sounded like an isolated incident. So while I always tell you guys to, and I think you're playing this the right way, you make him beg in the sense that let him explain 30 times, 100 times. Let him beg to get you back in his life. Let him beg and tell you how much of a mistake it was and explain to you 100 times. That way you have him desperate for you, that by the time you come back, you say, you can say, I better not see no stuff like that ever again. And he'll be set on the right path, right? Which is good. But I also do want to like caution you to not just, I think for what happened, I think blocking him is a bit extreme. I'll be honest with you. I think you need to give it some time to see if this is a pattern that develops. And then if you notice a pattern, then cool, block him. But I just don't think this is enough to say, okay, I'll never speak to you again. Because if things have been going well up until this point, although I don't know how I feel about you sleeping with him, but you said it's been a couple of months, right? I don't like to oh, there's part two. Sorry. Part two, he showed up at my place and we went to a dinner. So what happened about you not answering him? And I talked, I didn't want him at my place. I'm from Jersey. There's 24-hour dinners here, and talk for 3 hours. He said he understands why I would not believe the deodorant is not his, but it is, and there is no one else. I said we can try to make this work, but I don't want him sleeping over. I can make him respect my boundaries. And did I lose my power forgiving him? No, I actually think you did the right thing. I think you allowed him to do some begging to get you back. And I think he is remorseful, even if it really was his deodorant. I think he's remorseful he's remorseful, and he also understands that you mean business, which is good. That's why I think you did the right thing by making him beg and call you a bunch of times and block and having him do so much to try to get you back. Even if he didn't do anything, it shows him that you mean business, so he can't mess around. So I don't think you actually lost any power by forgiving him in this scenario, because it's just women's deodorant and you don't know necessarily where that came from. Okay. And you don't have anywhere of confirming that it came from a woman. And so I think that in this case, until you begin to see a pattern, doing it this way where he has to beg for you and then you forgive him is good. So I actually think, Lizzie, you actually did the right thing. And I think you're on the right track. So until you see some other suspicious behavior, I think this might actually just be an isolated incident, and you can work through that. So just keep doing what you're doing. But I do think also setting the boundary of, hey, you ain't coming to my place, it kind of leaves the remnants of something where it's like, hey, even though I forgive you now, things don't just go back to normal, which I think is good. Stick to that. Keep that up so that he continues to remember that you mean business, and continue making him work in order for him to show you that he is like here for real. Okay. Cause you kind of have him in that position now, which is very good. All right, Lizzie. Next we have here, wow, we have a lot to do. Next we have here Sammy. What is going on? Okay, this one was deleted. Okay, so we have Future MILF here. This is a funny name. Future MILF says, I met a guy in late May on Hinge. Okay. In my opinion, he took too long to ask me out, but I gave him grace because we were actually having deep conversations on the app. Oh, really? You're having deep conversations on Hinge about life and the government and, you know, us living in a simulation. Okay. I approached the first date like it was just like any other date. Then he gave me flowers, which I thought was really nice. We had an amazing date, both laughing and having a good time. I developed very strong feelings for him quickly. This is never good. When people start talking like this is never good, because this honestly is never natural. Okay? I understand you might lust someone very quickly, or you might be very excited when it's new very quickly, but you're not actually really developing deep feelings for someone in the span of a couple of days. You don't know that person. You're developing feelings for your idea of that person, but not the actual person. Okay, it's fine though. We all do it. I've been there as well. The second date was right after work, and I was stressed with stuff from work and in a rush to get there. And because I knew I liked this guy, I cared about how it was going to go. Because of both of these factors, I was extremely anxious when I showed up to the date. And honestly, the vibe was weird and he could tell. Yeah, it's usually not. If you have something weird going on, it's usually not good to go out on a date after that, because you're just going to bring a very strange energy to the date. However, he still told me he was interested and attracted to me. When he drove me home, we kissed. Okay, nothing wrong with that. You're both adults. Now it's been 2 weeks since the date and we have no solid plans, which is a long time in my opinion. We have texted, shared voice notes, and have talked about seeing a band that's coming to my city next month. I feel like a clown because I sent a long voice note Sunday and he hasn't responded. Ooh. Did he lose interest because I weirded him out being anxious on our second date? What's my best move? I considered texting and saying something like, it's been a couple of weeks since we, don't do this. Don't do this. Before I even answer your question here, do not do this. Do not do this, future MILF. Don't do this. I was considering saying something like, it's been a couple of weeks since we last went out. Don't do that. I normally only do that when I'm not interested in someone. You do that when you're not interested in someone? Okay. Maybe that sort of thing is normal for you, but in this situation, doesn't make me feel good. So if things don't change going forward, I think it's better we don't keep in touch. Oh, this is the whole message. Don't even dream about saying this to him. Don't even dream about it. Don't even dream about it. Okay, future MILF? Don't imagine it. Don't fantasize about it. Don't even type it out on your phone or in your notes app. Don't do it. But now I'm thinking it's better if I say nothing and let it flop like a couple of bunny ears. I'm annoyed because I feel like he has kept me on the shelf. What should I even say if he reaches out? I don't want to let him waltz back in like nothing happened, but maybe cutting it off completely is too much. I just think the vibe is off now. I have other options, but he was my fave. Okay. So first of all, like I said, don't ever do this. Don't even try it. Don't even type it. Okay. What you need to do in this scenario, truthfully, is do nothing. Because if I have to be honest with you, there is a possibility he went on that date with you, and despite what he said about it's cool, it's whatever, he might have just been weirded out by your vibe and been like, I know you said he's your fave, but like I'm not trying to be mean to you, but like we have to acknowledge we're all human beings and we're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. So he might be your fave, but maybe you're not his fave after that date. That's okay though. But like you need to give him the space to to show you if you are his fave or if you're not. And the thing about it is, even if in a hypothetical world you were to send him this text and it was to stimulate you guys getting on another date, it wouldn't come from a place of you guys are on that date because he really knew that you were his fave and he wanted to go back on a date with you. It would come from a place where you kind of put him in a weird spot where he felt guilty about not going out on a date with you, and so he went out on a date with you for pity. You'll be like charity. You're like Goodwill. Okay? Don't be like that. Let him come to his own realization that he wants to go out on another date with you and ask you out. For the most part, it seems like he was doing that, right? At the very beginning, right? In terms of asking you out, he gave you flowers, right? So he knows how to be intentional. And this is the very tricky part about all this stuff, is that I know what you're experiencing is the anxiety of having him give you flowers, be really nice, be really sweet, probably compliment you and feel like you're really being pursued by the man. And then all of a sudden he's not pursuing you anymore. And it's been 2 weeks and you are seeing a total difference in him. And now that difference is giving you a lot of anxiety. And now you're trying to think to yourself, just like I told you guys before, as soon as you get that anxiety hitting you, feeling like, oh, he was interested in me before, now he's not interested. What do you start thinking? How can I do more to stimulate him being interested in me? Which is exactly why you're thinking, should I send this text? No, you shouldn't. Actually, you should do nothing. Because if he is truly interested in you, and still interested in you at least, then he will come to the realization that he wants to spend time with you the same way he did at the very beginning. If he doesn't, you need to accept that the reality of it is he doesn't come to that realization because he's not that interested in you. And that's okay. Your life is still good, even though it's your fave. Unfortunately, not everything's going to work out absolutely perfect. You're looking for a specific situation. You're not looking for a specific person. Anyone that fits that mold of what you're already looking for is the person you're going to be committed to. Not any specific man where you feel like it has to work out with this specific guy or my life is over. Okay, that's not the approach that you want to have. Okay, and so you need to let go, detach yourself from this situation and say to yourself, if he's going to message me, he will. If he's not, he won't. And my life is great either way. And do nothing. You don't have to do anything. All right. Next we have here, let's see. We got, will the player get played? What's going on here? Why does this look like this? Let's read this. She says, why does that look like that? Chat, should I download this? Very strange that this looks like that. I feel like I might get a virus. Last time when we downloaded something, it was a long 2 pages, but this looks a little bit weird. Doesn't this look weird to you guys? Should I open this one, chat? Or does this look like a virus? I scared. Tommy's scared. I'm a risk taker though. Should I do it or no? It just looks weird. Why is it like this? Can I expand this? What the hell? Why does that look like that? That's weird. Okay, I'm going to download it anyways because I'm a daredevil and you only live once. Okay, so I'm downloading this. What is going on? Imagine I just get a virus and everything just shuts down. Okay, is this going to open here? What is happening? Oh, this is that. What is going on? It's downloading. Okay, continue downloading. Okay, let's open it. What the hell? Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Let's see. Put this on. Let's see, on this. On this. On this. What the hell? Okay, so let's see what's going on in this message here. Let's dance. Let's dance. This one? This one? You guys can't see that. You guys can't see that. Can you see it now? Should be able to see it now. There we go. Okay, so let's see what this says here. This is going to be very interesting. me pull this down like this. I'll pull this up. You guys can see that? Okay, so she says, I don't know why this is like this. She says, hi, Tomisin. I'm 20-year-old female getting to know a 21-year-old male. We are both university students and we live inside the same dormitory. Okay. In the university, what the heck? What is going on? Sorry, I gotta expand. So I can see. Why is this so large like this? This is such a, what the heck? This is such a weird way to do this. Okay. Interest in showing backstory. Okay, I'm not reading this like this. This is annoying. Please just send it regular. I don't know. I don't even know why I opened this like this. My apologies, guys. Just send it regular. I don't know, like, why is this like this? Send this in the Discord like a regular message. Just copy and paste it, Venus. Okay, not that I don't want to answer your question. Just it's just very weird like that, and the structure is very painful to read. Let's go on to Jojo. Jojo says getting out of fantasy. If you guys want to read it, you can go and read it there. It's there for you, available. Getting out of fantasy. Hi, okay, me, 29-year-old female, my friend, 36-year-old male. We've been friends for 4 years after meeting in a lecture. We've always gotten along really well, but I've always known I've been attracted to him. I've watched your besties video as well as many others at least 3 times. Amazing. Predominantly, we hung out one-on-one, whether it was grabbing a meal, catching a movie, hanging at his, etc. We talk about being aspirations, dating, pineapples, family, work, and all the other random stuff in between. I like how this is structured. You got punctuation. You're see, I know you're a university student because you typed this out for real. There was one time very early on, first 6 months, we had a post-class group hang. At the table, I was talking to someone else, and then he asked in front of everyone if I'd like to go to salsa. Salsa. This came out of nowhere. I said sure because it had been mentioned earlier during the summer. Okay. It's like that was kind of random. We never once kissed or done anything physical. I guess we've been emotionally intimate over the years. Okay. Yes, I've always recognized it as gray platonic / dating situation. But it was my mid-20s. I believed I could manage my emotions like a clown. And yes, I could to my detriment. I'm pretty good at holding my feelings and poker facing. I would go along to get along. I date someone, he dates someone, but I keep this weird situation that we'd get together later in life like some dumb rom-com. Other friends of mine, especially my girl mates, would not get the friendship between us and think it's weird plus being protective. Probably have a point. I would see the other point, but I would just justify it by saying that some of us have self-control with guys. That's you. That doesn't speak for the guys, though. Not everything has to be pineapple-y. Okay. I'll hold back my comment for now. Although that's true, I was living in a fantasy. Oh. See how fast the tables turn? Doesn't take very long. Okay. So Jojo goes on to say, back in late 2021, he was getting ready to head off to compete in the international sports circuit. Oh, he's an athlete. He was trying to qualify for the 2024 Olympics. Oh, he's a top tier athlete. We met up at his place as we had done before, had dinner and chatted like normal. When I was leaving, we hugged and we were joking around a bit. We said we loved each other, which was the first time, but it didn't feel weird to say. Okay. This is a friendship. During that 18-month period, he would come home for the holidays as normal. Towards the end of last year, he met a girl. It was different from hookups, and it looked like they were dating seriously. He said, and I quote, yeah, she's sweet. She's pretty into me, which is nice. Obviously, when he was telling me this, I was playing my usual cool and supportive self, but internally I was devastated. What happened to the friendship? I felt like I had wasted my 20s on him being a placeholder. And for what? Hmm, hmm, hmm. She flew in from Toronto. Ooh, I'm in Toronto. Do I know you? Maybe I know you. She flew in from Toronto. Oh, wait, maybe I know her. Oh, my God. She flew in from Toronto, where he spends half of his year, to Sydney, Australia, where we are for the Aussie summer. Maybe I do know you. I know some people that have done that. I met her. She's fine. I didn't realize she was my age. She seemed older. No shade. That's shade, actually. It's okay. You don't like her. It's okay, but that's shade. That's fine. We all throw shade. That's a little hate. It's just a little hate. The first time we all got coffee, he said that we looked alike. Now you're pissed. I know you're pissed now. We were both looking at him like he was crazy. You don't want to be associated with her. Besides the obvious, I'm black, she's white. That actually makes it even more funny. That makes it a little bit more funny. Let's just say I have the features people are trying to have. Full lips, big eyes, and I'm a runner and do Pilates too. When you're saying you're a runner, that basically means you're saying you have a dump truck, like your dump truck's bussin', okay? It's bussin'. We're both 6 foot athletic girls. Oh my gosh. She's also a former athlete. He's white too. Not that that matters at all, but sometimes I can't help but feel like it does. My insecurities. It always justified me not being his type because his dating history has been tall European girls. I'm 2 out of the 3 of those things. Anyways, this year has been when I've made the most changes. He kept calling me his best friend. Besties. First to a random person that we are both talking to. Then to his sister and brother-in-law when we were all having dinner. I mean, okay, what are you expecting him to refer to you as, though? I mean, you've been friends. This is part of the... I'll go on because I'll make my comment after. The thing is, he calls us best friends, but has a knack for forgetting my birthday. Those two things don't correlate to me. I have girls and I have been genuine besties with since high school, and they are who I really consider fam. I know it's not about the length of time, but something about forgetting my birthday annoys me. It's during early July when people are away or hungover, but it's a simple thing to remember. Before heading back to Toronto a couple of months ago, he asked me if I'd want to help him out with his family business, all paid. I said sure because funds. It felt like this way of taking it felt like his way of taking care of me, maybe, but I didn't ask him why he offered the role. A couple of weeks after that, he left. I muted him and his girlfriend on IG. So now this is his actual girlfriend. I figured if I'm trying to grow up and move on, social media isn't my friend. I have checked his stories or communicated in over 2 months, I haven't communicated in over 2 months, and I'm feeling better. Watching videos is really helpful. Watching your videos is really helpful. Thank you. My question is, when his birthday comes up, should I wish him a happy birthday as a friend who complains about that myself, or just the non-contact going? Good question, Jojo. To answer your last question here, I honestly think that you should leave it alone. Not that you necessarily have to ignore him for the rest of your life. I just think that the situation that you're in currently, you're emotionally attached to this guy and invested in this guy, which it's not a crime. That doesn't make you a bad person. However, he has a girlfriend now. And so he's actively building relationships with other people. And so the longer you continuously string this along in terms of like just kind of keeping this casual contact with him where it's not really over, but it's not really, actually happening, and you're friends, but you have a lot of jealousy and animosity towards the girls that he's dating or seeing, it just continuously puts you in a weird position where you can't properly like move forward in your life and build relationships with new people. And that's a very painful place to be. And it also is not really going to serve you properly in the end. You're only going to end up continuously frustrated trying to understand why you feel jealous for a guy who is just supposed to be your friend. Because even in things like you mentioned, he called you his best friend to a random, and then he called you his best friend to his sister and his brother-in-law, when, I mean, you guys have been friends. So, I mean, him calling you his best friend shouldn't be offensive. I get that the birthday thing is what you're referring to, but you get what I mean? And it's just not a healthy situation for you to be in, where you're actively in a friendship, and then you're thinking to yourself, oh, I hate this girl. Oh, I don't like this girl. Or why you like that girl? You know, or you're just thinking to yourself, it should be me. Because anytime he comes to you with advice now, you're going to be thinking of, your inclination is to try to make the relationship end. Not that you do that purposely, but you obviously are invested in the guy that is actively in a relationship with someone else. So all in all, it just puts you in a very weird situation. And I don't think it allows you to properly grow and move forward and build a relationship with someone who will treat you as the priority. Because clearly, in all this time of you guys knowing each other and spending all this time, he hasn't found you fascinating or interesting enough to make you his girlfriend. In fact, in that time period, he's met a new girl and made her his girlfriend in less time than he's known you. So that should tell you exactly how he truly feels about you. So at that point, it's time for you to let go and let live and let bygones be bygones, as silly as that sounds. And the only reason I say go no contact, not because he has done anything wrong to you or malicious to you, but so that you can actually move forward and not continue feeling like, but I'm going to see him again and talk to him again and this and that again. And the more you go back and forth and debate yourself, should I talk to him? Should I text him? Should I call him? Does he think I'm a bad person because I haven't reached out to him, right? That the more you're just going to stay emotionally attached to him and the situation that could have been with him, instead of just saying, you know what, I'm cutting it off. I'm not speaking to him again. I'm not texting him back. I'm not texting him happy birthday. It's done. And then just have it in your mind where you just, every time you think of him, you're like, it's done. It's over. You've cleared it out in your mind. And the thing about it is, it makes it a lot easier for you to move forward when every time you think about the guy, you're like, okay, that was cool, but it's done now. Like I'm moving forward. Like it's actually over. I'm not speaking to him ever again. And that will eventually, even though it might be painful at first, it becomes so easy for you to just not think about the situation. Okay. Does that make sense? Let's go on to the next one here. Let's see who we have next. So next we have M. Okay, M's is really long. So you know what we're going to do for M? We're going to table yours and I will answer it tomorrow. Okay. That'll be the first one I answer tomorrow, M. Okay. Not because I don't want to answer yours. I just don't want to run out of time here. Okay. So if you have a question for me and your question didn't get answered, don't worry. I will answer it on tomorrow's show. Tomorrow's Friday. I'll try to wrap up fast and answer a whole bunch of questions. And I don't think we'll have internet problems tomorrow. Okay. And if you didn't get a chance to submit your question, please, if you're in the TikTok chat, go over to my TikTok bio and you can answer and you can send your question in there in the relationship advice section. And if you're in the YouTube live chat, you can go over to the Discord and it's pinned at the top message, or it's in the link in the description where you can ask your question there as well. Okay. And for those of you who are wondering where you can find me on other platforms, my Instagram is right there above my head on the left side of the screen if you're on TikTok, and it's on the bottom right if you're on YouTube. If you want to see everything I'm doing, understand me better, and see everywhere I've been in this entire time. Okay. Cheryl asked, when are you going live again? I am live every weekday, Monday to Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will be back on tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hopefully with no glitches and no lag. Usually this only happens one day out of the week, so I'm praying it doesn't happen again tomorrow, all right? I'll be trying my best to make sure it doesn't. In the meantime, if you want to rewatch this whole live stream without any of the glitches and the lags, it'll already be uploaded for your watchability and availability on my YouTube. You just go on, if you're on TikTok, you just go right on the top of my head on the right side of the screen, type in my name on YouTube, go in the live section, and you'll see this live stream with the TikTok and YouTube live chat embedded into the video. Okay, so you'll have access to that and all the other live streams that I've ever done in my entire life. Okay, so other than that, I'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Au revoir, hasta la vista, goodbye, arrivederci. I will see you later, and I love you so much, and I love spending time with you, and I'll spend some more time with you at 4 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. Goodbye for now.